Hey everyone, Dan Coach Emilio here with NorCal Sports Network with a recap today on day one of the Boredom Fest, MLB's Winter Meetings. We're going to get right into it, but first let us thank the sponsor of the video, Chapman Law Group. Give Chapman Law Group a call for all your legal needs, 415-613-9483. Let them know NorCal Sports Network sent you. Okay, guys, we get into this. It's kind of a snooze fest, typical day one down in Orlando, Major League Baseball meetings. Just not a lot to really get that excited about. And that's pretty typical. Day one is usually the day where, the agents are all just coming in and, they get in on Sunday and they're getting settled, and the agents, the general managers, and the Pobos and everybody comes in. And I've been to these meetings, and they're just, kind of just a lot of mingling around, checking in, reporters, beat writers, everybody all over the place. You can walk around the hotel lobby and see lots of, big leaguers and, Hall of Famers and guys that are just there visiting. And, it's just not a lot going on. There's private meetings going on upstairs, and they're on the team's floors, and they're in their rooms where they're hosting players and interviews and all kinds of stuff, but nothing major to report today. It'll get hotter. Day two tomorrow. I expect there'll be a signing or two. Maybe, we'll get into that. We'll cover through this video what this means for the Giants, what they're looking at, how everything could go down in the next couple of days. And keep in mind, I want to touch base later. Don't get all excited that if the Giants don't do anything major in these next 2 days before the meetings leave, there's a whole off season, everybody. Most of the deals don't get done just at the winter meetings. They get done sometimes before, and definitely a lot of deals get done afterwards. I'm going to pull up some of the top trades for you that the Giants have made in their history since 1970. I started following the club in 1968, so I'm going to go back and bring up some big deals that happened in the offseason and kind of let you go down memory lane. Probably a lot of the younger listeners never heard of any of these players. And, we're also consumed with everything happening at these winter meetings. And, look, you can go to other channels and listen to people scream and get all excited and hot about the Giants aren't doing nothing. Giants aren't doing anything. What's going on? Come on. It's just, nobody's doing anything. Okay. It's like, so I hear people flip out like, I'm going to lose it if the Giants don't do anything. Well, they may not do anything in these meetings significant, but they probably will. But we'll get into it. Okay. Like I said, the vibe today is just pretty low key. But here's what's going on. The star power, the massive bats headline the market. Okay. It's Kyle Schwarber and Kyle Tucker, the two Kyles. And I think when one of those signs, there'll be a domino effect. We'll see what happens. And I'm not sure who signs first. The Pirates made an offer today to Kyle Schwarber, 4 years. The dollar amount has not been publicized, at least anything I've heard. So, I don't think he's going to the Pirates. I mean, the Phillies are the team that still wants him. The Mets are talking to him. The Reds, that's his hometown team. Excuse me, that's his hometown team. We're hearing the Giants have had some talks, but these are just talks. So we'll see where this goes. All right. Red Sox, where Schwarber once played, he could be that could be a possibility as well. Okay. So Kyle Schwarber, Kyle Tucker, Alex Bregman, where's he going? Is he going to stay with the Red Sox? A lot of contenders are talking to him, but he's a Scott Boras client. So Boras clients can drag in this market. We'll see. Oh, hey, we'll touch base on a video tomorrow. I'll put it out there, but a little talk about Tarik Skubal, maybe with the Dodgers. There was a little report out there today that the Dodgers may be in on Tarik Skubal. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. So look forward to that. Cody Bellinger, where's he going to land? He's another big bat. Is he going to, I've even heard the Dodgers had some interest there. But Bellinger, the Yankees want him back. I'd be surprised if he goes anywhere and if he doesn't stay in any pinstripes. He had a great year. He's got that short porch in right field that helps him, his numbers. Playing in the Big Apple, pretty nice place to play for Cody Bellinger. Pete Alonso, he's had some meetings. He's drove down to Orlando to have some face-to-face meetings and see what happens with Pete Alonso. Do the Mets get him back, or we'll see? Like I say, once one of these hitters signs, especially Tucker and Schwarber, I expect a chain reaction across the league. I think that's what will happen. The pitching market, Dylan Cease is gone, but plenty of aces remain. Week and a half ago, Cease signed with the Blue Jays 7 years, $210 million, $30 million a year, a huge overpay that set the market, which could slow down the market, frankly. We'll see. I mean, I'm sure that, Boris got that deal done, and, it could put a kink in this whole pitching market. We'll see. I mean, the top guys are Framber Valdez and Ranger Suárez, Tatsuya Imai, Michael King, and Zac Gallen. The reports out there that the Giants are in on that, according to John Morrissey. We'll see. Do the Giants land one of these guys? My guess is Zac Gallen would be a guy they might land. You got to remember the qualifying offer is a huge thing that other guys have, where Imai doesn't have that. He's coming from Japan, but he's got the huge, you got to pay that fee, that posting fee, which probably be about $25+ million just for the posting fee. So we'll see where this goes. Does Tarik Skubal get traded? We'll talk about that a little bit more in tomorrow's video, but Tarik Skubal, I would think he gets dealt. I mean, especially if the Dodgers come up with a package. Sandy Alcantara, the Miami Marlins, strong finish. Calls are coming in from some contenders on him. Freddy Peralta, Brewers are listening. But there's a massive asking price I'm hearing with that. So I'm not sure if Peralta gets dealt. Joe Ryan, Twins are willing to talk under the right circumstances, but we'll see. A lot of this stuff is just talk. A lot of stuff doesn't happen. I mean, and things happen here in the winter meetings where are grounds for deals that happen a month from now. Even the deals will happen at the trade deadline in the 26th season. A lot of times deals are put together in the winter meetings. All right. So what about the Giants? What does day one mean for the Giants here? What does Buster Posey, Zach Maniason have in mind for the Giants? What is going to be done? I think the offseason blueprint's pretty clear. They need pitching, starting pitching, and relief pitching. And the Giants have to really zone in and come through in that area. I mean, but under Buster, we've seen some crazy moves, right? I mean, we saw the Willy Adames move last year, which was somewhat unexpected. 7 years, $182 million. Rafi Devers, a blockbuster acquisition. And then he goes after Tony Vitello as his manager. So, I mean, this is Buster thinks out of the box. So don't be surprised, Giants fans, if there's something that we haven't even discussed, that the Giants come up with some, player or two that the Giants haven't discussed, and a possibility of a trade. Of course, we mentioned the top need, starting pitching. Got to have. They only got 3 starters, Webb, Ray, and Roop. So they need 2 starters minimum. And I think they need 4. And a couple of guys can go to the bullpen, guys that are swing guys like Zach Littell. I think he would be an excellent type of signing for maybe that swing job, that maybe he'd be the 6th guy. He'd be a bullpen guy, but can come in and start. So they need that. They need the bullpen reinforcement. They need some outfield upgrades. Some people say they need second base depth or upgrades. I think they're okay at second base. I'd spend elsewhere. I think Casey is solid. I think, Christian Koss can be a solid backup in the infield, and put your money into pitching. and maybe a good stud outfielder that can hit, that doesn't strike out a ton. And, they may be looking at a backup catcher. So I think that they're monitoring guys like Gallen, maybe Michael King, definitely Chris Bassett, Merrill Kelly type guys. I think I wouldn't be surprised if they got two of three, Gallen, Bassett, and Kelly, two of the three guys there. That would be my guess that the Giants go, but we'll see. Trades that we've been talking about, the names they could be in on: Freddy Peralta, Joe Ryan, Chris Bubeck of the Royals. He would be a nice piece, a nice addition. So, maybe there's just one signing on the free agent side and a trade. We'll see. This is classic Giant strategy, though, under Buster Posey. Spend big on the impact bats and stay ready to pounce if the price dips. And we saw under Farhan how the Giants, he would wait, and then the price would dip. That's how he landed Blake Snell and Matt Chapman. Actually, a couple years ago, after spring training was already underway. So we'll see how that goes. I don't think it'll be as much of a drag this year with the pending, labor dispute that could happen after this year. I would think players would want to get deals done. If they get a decent 2-year deal offered, guys might just, jump on that because you get your 27 covered if they're, so it's going to be interesting to see. So Giants outfield market, a lot of talk about Harrison Bader coming. He's looking for a 3-year deal. He would be an excellent center fielder. You could move Jung-Hoo Lee over to right field. That could solve a lot of problems. Gives you a right-handed bat. He's got elite defense. He's playoff tested. I like Bader a lot. And again, he's looking for what we're hearing, like a 3-year deal. So I think the Giants are very interested there. I mentioned earlier they're checking in on Kyle Schwarber. I don't see that deal getting done, but that might be, the Posey shocker of 25 winter meetings. We'll see how that turns out. Now, you've heard my videos, hopefully. If you haven't, go check them out on Bryce Eldridge. Do not trade this guy, please. Unless you're getting a superstar pitcher back, which is not going to happen, that has 3 or 4 years of control, don't trade him. Please don't trade him. I mentioned, Joe Ryan in one video only as a possibility because I could see the Giants doing something like that. I hope they don't do that. I don't want to get rid of a 21-year-old kid who's got 40-plus home run power. And I think it would be just personally a catastrophic blunder on the Giants if they got rid of Bryce Eldridge at 21. The guy is going to get better and better, I believe, each year. He should be up on the big league club, hopefully opening day. Few lighter notes, takeaways today from Orlando. Executives joke more deals get done at the hotel bar in the official meeting rooms than in the official meeting rooms, right? I mean, there's just nothing that happens in day one, rarely. I mean, it's usually day 3 is the big day, right? Aaron Judge went down a few years ago in the 22 winter meetings. That was the infamous John Heyman arson Judge tweet going to the Giants. I was there that day in the hotel lobby, and there was a buzz. There was definitely a buzz going around before the announcement came out. I was watching Heyman pacing up and down the hallways, and Susan Slusser was talking to him and trying to get information, and it was wild. There was a buzz, and that and then that came out that the Giants had signed Mitch Haniger, and that night, and we knew that was a punt, right? We knew, okay, we signed Mitch Haniger, and we're not getting Aaron Judge. And the next day, of course, he announced he's going back to the Yankees. Teams are privately preparing for a big rush of signings once the first major contract drops. League Buzz generally says this could be the most active trade week since the mid 2010s. There's a lot more trade talk and action out there. Who will be the first guy to get traded? There's a lot of guys that are going to get traded. It seems like Jeff McNeil's a slam dunk with the Mets to get traded, right? Brendan Donovan's name keeps popping up with St. Louis. Does he get traded? Does Skubal get traded? Does Peralta get traded? It's going to be interesting. Once the trades generally start, they tend to, follow. We did see a couple deals already before the winter meetings a few weeks ago. Angels and Orioles had a deal, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Expect some actual signings to start dropping here tomorrow, though. I think day 2 you're going to see some, and don't be surprised if one of those in day 2 or 3 is Ranger Suárez or Framber Valdez. That's the top of the market right now, and once one of those guys goes, then everything else could fall into place. And maybe one big blockbuster deal. Hopefully tomorrow night, day 2, we'll have some blockbuster deals to report. So we'll see how this ends up going. I want to pull up some trades. I got to look at my notes here. Give me a minute, because this could take me some time to find my notes here. I had some deals on the Giants. Okay. I put them here in my notes. Okay. All right. So remember I told you at the beginning, I'm going to go through some trades with the Giants just to tell you guys that deals don't happen all the time during the winter meetings. They generally, the Giants have been around since 1958 in San Francisco, right? Okay. So the first big deal in the 1970s happened on November 29th, 1971. I was 10 years old, and the Giants got Sam McDowell for Gaylord Perry and shortstop Frank Duffy. Giants lost that deal. Gaylord Perry went on to be incredible with Cleveland and other teams, became a Cy Young Award winner in 1972, the very next year. This was a bad trade for the Giants. How about the next big trade? And I'm just going to go over the big ones. I'm not going over these small little trades. I'm mentioning big guys. Okay, Willie McCovey was traded to the San Diego Padres. I don't think a lot of you people may have known that, but Willie Mack was traded in 1973. I was 12 years old and I was crushed. Willie was my favorite player, and he went to the Padres, and they got a left-handed pitcher by the name of Mike Caldwell. And the Giants gave up just getting back Mike Caldwell, who was okay, but they gave up Willie McCovey, outfielder Bernie Williams, not the one with the Yankees, okay? This was in the 70s, guys. And he was, I was crushed seeing Willie go. The next trade was the following year, and it seemed like the Giants were making trades in the 70s. And I always looked forward to these meetings. And this happened before the winter meetings, but another deal that crushed me, Bobby Bonds, the first player I remember as growing up as a Giants fan. 1968, I was 7 years old, and his dad, Bobby Bonds, hit a grand slam in his first game against the LA Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. I got to see it. It was rare. Back then in 1968, we had like 3 channels we could watch, maybe 4 if you had the rabbit ears, whatever it was, but UHF, we got that. But channel 2, the Giants only were broadcast or telecast like 18 times a year. They used to play the Dodgers 9 times on the road, 9 at home. Same with the Padres. So we got to see the Padres and Dodgers. It was all we had growing up watching in the 70s. Okay. So guys watching this video right now, you're very, very spoiled. We're all spoiled getting to watch all 162, not only of your favorite team, but you can watch all of baseball if you get the MLB package. But that trade, Bobby Bonds was traded for Bobby Mercer to the New York Yankees in a 1-for-1 swap. And this was one of the most famous star-for-star swaps of that decade in the 70s. Bobby Mercer was a good center fielder, but, Bobby Bonds was so talented. Bobby Bonds was nearly the first 40-40 man in baseball. He had 39 homers and 43 stolen bases. He couldn't get that 40th home run at the end of the season. How about the next trade? Okay, February 11th. Again, not in the winter meetings. This didn't happen in the winter meetings, but Bill Madlock was traded to the Giants along with infielder Rob Sparing. The Giants gave up that same Bobby Mercer, third baseman Steve Olivares, and minor leaguer Andy Mulstock. Madlock was already a two-time batting champ for, I think he was with the Pirates. And that was or was he with the Cubs? I'm trying to remember when that deal was done. I think, let's see, trying to remember that actual deal, but that was a nice deal, Giants getting Bill Madlock. Okay, 1980s. In 1985, another huge trade that crushed me. Man, this was a tough one to watch. Jack Clark going to the St. Louis Cardinals, where he would help the Cardinals go on to win a couple of pennants. Giants traded Jack Clark for the headliner of the trade was outfielder David Green and Jose Uribe, who came over as Jose Gonzalez, but became Jose Uribe, changed his name. The Giants also got Dave LaPointe, a left-handed pitcher, and first baseman Gary Rashich. Not Gary Radich, but Gary Rashich. Giants 4-for-1 deal. Jack Clark, who was number 22, the original number 22. I had his jersey, the orange jersey pullover. Yep, Jack Clark had it autographed by Jack, and he was my favorite player in the 80s, Jack Clark, in the late 70s and 80s. And then the 90s. How about this trade? Now, we're not talking about, of course, the biggest trade, and I haven't even brought this one up. This actually happened in the 80s, a 7-player deal. But that was mid-season, okay? What I'm focusing on right now is off-season trades. I'm not talking about the Kevin Mitchell, Dave Dravecky, all those guys, Chris Brown, and that huge 7-player deal. That was a mid-season trade. I'm just talking about here off-season trades, trying to get you to think that the Giants trades just don't happen over the winter meetings, guys. They happen throughout the offseason. But in the 90s, on December 11th, the Giants traded Kevin Mitchell, their former MVP, to Seattle. The Giants, this is the deal that brought them Bill Swift, Mike Jackson, and Dave Burba, that helped them win 103 games in the 1993 season, Dusty Baker's first year. That turned out to be a pretty decent trade for the Giants because those guys really did well pitching. Now, the final, not the final, but another trade in December of 94, Rich Aurelia arrived. The Giants got Rich Aurelia and first baseman Desi Wilson for right-handed pitcher John Burkett, who was on that 93 team that was a very good team that missed out, lost to the Braves. On the last day of the season, the Giants got beat by the Dodgers. And Solomon Torres, their young guy that was supposed to be a future ace, Dusty rolled him out on the last day of the season. The Dodgers rocked him. I think it was like 10-0 or something like that. All right, the biggest trade the Giants have made, probably that most, in the offseason, was one of the first trades made by Brian Sabean. It was the I'm not an idiot trade. The Giants traded Matt Williams for now Hall of Famer Jeff Kent. Giants gave up Matt Williams and outfielder Trinidad Hubbard, and the Giants received Kent, Julian Taveras, and Jose Vizcaíno, and right-handed pitcher Joe Roa. Great trade. At the time, it looked awful because everybody knew Matt Williams, and what a deal that was pulled off by Brian Sabean. How about in the early 2000s, November 7th, in the championship decade, the Giants traded Jonathan Sanchez for Melky Cabrera. Of course, Melky Cabrera would later go on to be suspended for PEDs in that 2012 season, which the Giants still miraculously came back to win the World Series, even without Melky. And also that same year, a month later on December 7th, the Giants were able to trade Andres Torres, Ramon Ramirez for Angel Pagan. The Giants got Angel Pagan, and that was a nice trade. So, and then, of course, the late 2010s and 17, Evan Longoria came over from Tampa Bay. The Giants traded Denard Denard Span, and Christian Arroyo, and two pitching prospects. And then, that's pretty much it. The bigger deals. I mean, you could talk about many more, but, I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts on the trades that I just mentioned. Which was the best trade that stood out to you guys? Was there a trade that you just remember like I do growing up that just was like, oh no, how did the Giants do that? I bring up the trades only to say, guys, they don't all happen here in the winter meetings. Relax. Yeah, this channel will stay relaxed, all right? We're not going to freak out. That's not what we do here. So appreciate you watching this video. Would greatly appreciate if you would like and subscribe to the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It means a lot. The more likes we get, the more it pushes out the video. And of course, the more subs we get, the more people get a chance to see Giants content. So thanks for watching. Again, don't forget to drop your comments below, and we will catch you on the next one. Tomorrow should be an interesting day. We'll be back with a video tomorrow night, and we should have one out sometime during the day tomorrow, again, on the possibility of Tarik Skubal becoming an LA Dodger. All right, take care, everybody.